These stage lights are being controlled by one module, this one. This is the CV to DMX stage light controller from Jake's Custom Shop. Hey everyone, so I started looking into lighting systems. I actually put out a video a while back using this module, which is the Dofer RGB LED controller, and I wired it to the back of my system so you can actually see the lights go on right there. So check that video out. This operates on LED lights, and there are some downsides to it. Number one is that it draws power from your system. There is a little input right here for putting in like a wall wart or some sort of external power supply, but there's no indicator light that shows that it's actually drawing power from the external supply. And I was always a little bit wary that it might send my system over its power limits. And that's one advantage that DMX lights have over a system like this. There are probably ways that you can make sure to have these controlled by or powered by an external system, but DMX lights, however, are externally powered. You plug them directly into an outlet and you can chain them together. There's also different formats you can buy. You can buy light bars and things like that. So one of the things that I wanted to see if I could do is have a lighting system that's integrated with the modular system, controlled by the same voltages you use to control everything else. So you can operate it using gates, just steady voltages, envelopes, LFOs, whatever you want. And it just sort of makes the system a little bit more interactive and fun to use. So when I was looking at alternate lighting sources, I think there are a couple of other DMX lighting modules out there. Jake's Custom Shop reached out to me to see if any of their modules were of interest to me to do a video on. And so I jumped on this DMX lighting and was like, send me that. I'm really curious to check it out. So full disclosure, they sent it to me for free so I could demo it for you today. So I've got a patch set up. It's just kind of a groovy, techno-y kind of thing. And I'm gonna hook it up. We'll start from scratch and we'll slowly build up lights using Jake's Custom Shop's CV to DMX lighting controller. Okay, so let's first start. I just want to play what we're going to be working with. So you get the idea. There's a thumping kick, drum beat, synth thing happening. So now let's hook up our lights. So first of all, the module comes with this TRS jack that goes, the other side is the DMX plugin. It looks very similar to like an XLR cord. And so if we plug that in, I'm gonna turn on the lights now. Now these lights have a fan and that you'll probably be able to hear it through my microphone. These lights are pretty cheap. You can probably buy really expensive ones that don't have a fan. You know, but that is a consideration, is that you can kind of hear the fan going on. It's really not too bad, especially if you spread it out and once the music's going, you can't really hear it at all. But just to show you the back, so the cord will go into right here, and it looks just like a MIDI, XLR cable. And then this one, you can chain as many lights as you want together. And again, like I said, because they're externally powered, it's not a big deal at all. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set your mode for your DMX light. And so I'm going to turn it on, and D001 is what we're going to use for this one. What that basically means is that this light is red, green, blue, and that channel 1 is going to be red, channel 2 is going to be green, channel 3 is going to be blue. Now, these are chained together, and so for the second light, if you wanted them set to operate at the same time and to work together and just light up together, then you would just set the second one to D1 as well. But for the sake of just showing what this module can do and how to how to use all its features, we're gonna set this second one to D4. So what that means is that the second one, the red will be channel 4, the green will be channel 5, and the blue will be channel 6. Just to recap, this one, the one on the right, red is channel 1, green is channel 2, blue is channel 3. The one on the left, red is channel 4, green is channel 5, and blue is channel 6. And so of course too, if you wanted to have a really elaborate setup, you could have as many lights as you want. And I think you can program up to 513 channels or something like that. I don't think I will ever use that, but you know, it's there. Okay, so to operate it, you know, you have this encoder and you can, let's reset everything back to 0. So we can all just start from the same place. I'm gonna hold it down and then that reset comes up and you can choose yes or no. I'm gonna choose yes. And now everything is set to 0. On the module, you have 7 different inputs. Each one of those 7 has an attenuator right here. And then this last one is a master for kind of like an overall level. For each of the inputs, you have, I think, 7 banks or slots that you can assign to go to a different channel. So each one of these inputs could be assigned to 7 different outputs. For this, because we're gonna want, we'll have each light go and they're set to different channels. Why don't we'll set the first bank to channel 1. Now that means, actually let's go to 3. I like blue. So that means that this one is gonna shine out in blue when it gets a steady voltage. So we'll click through there and now I'm gonna feed it a steady voltage and you can see it's blue. And then here you have an attenuator. It's actually an attenuverter. So it can accept negative voltages too. But right now, for this video, we're just gonna use positive voltages. I'm feeding it a steady positive voltage from an offset module and controlling it by hand. And that will shine out blue. Now, if I wanted, if the one on the left was set to D1, this one would also be shining out blue. But since I'm going to be showing a whole bunch of different things, let's have it shine out, I don't know, we can have that one shine out green. So we'll go over to 5, because that's the channel for green, and we'll click that one. So now, that voltage will have the left one shine out in green and the right one shine out in blue. And then of course, what I've done with my setup, how I'm going to demonstrate it here, is I've multiplied all of the envelopes or the triggers that are triggering the drums and different things. So what I've got going here is I've multiplied the kick drum. And one thing I recommend for this module and for the RGB controller is to send it through another envelope generator so you can actually control the contour of the envelope. The one that I find really useful for this is Dofer's Quad Decay. It's just fast attack and then you can control the amount of decay. So that first channel of that is going to be the trigger that's triggering the kick drum is also going to be triggering this decay envelope, and so I can control it. So let's listen to it. And so that way too, you have a little bit of control over the envelope that's controlling the lights. So I'll play it and then I'm gonna, what I want you to look for is as I lower this envelope down, I hope you can see that in the camera, but as I lower the envelope down, the lights will get super snappy and then you can kind of increase it and have that envelope last a little bit longer. And then as you can see, if you crank it up a lot, it's great because then the lights are staying on with just a pulsating. So, you know, as your music starts to increase, you can just bring up that envelope. way it gives you some real control over it. All right, so let's see what else we got going on here. Some other voltages we're gonna shoot at it. If you can hear on the track, I have a control voltage like an LFO controlling the filter and sweeping the filter. So I'm gonna actually turn down all my drums so that way you can hear that filter sweeping the main line. So listen carefully. I've multiplied that signal as well and sent it here. Let's go ahead and plug that into channel 2. Since I have blue and green, let's just go ahead and set it so that that LFO that's controlling that filter sweep is set to red. You can click through the slots by pushing the encoder, and then once it gets through all of them, it'll go to the next one. Now down below, the light will blink above the input that it's adjusting. And so if we click through, and I think teal is the last one. Yep. So starts at red. Red's always the first one, and that just turned on number 2. So now we are on input 2, and this is bank A, or the first slot. And so we can set that to control whatever channel we want. So we want it to control the red channels of both. So I'm going to set the first bank to control 1. So that's that one. And then we'll skip forward to the green bank, and we'll have that one do 4, because that's, if you remember, that's the left channel. Perfect. So now let's listen to it again, and you should see red and red going with that filter sweep. So you can see the red lights are already moving with the LFO. And so now let's put on the sound so you can hear it. And then I'll turn the attenuator back up for the drums so we can see them both together. Cool. Also, I hope this is coming out with the lights and everything. I did turn on some lights in the room just to make sure that this comes out with through the video. But when I turn off the diffuse lighting for the module, it just looks so awesome in my space. I can't wait to hang these up. I also, set them right here so you can see them in the video. But ideally, I'm going to have them, spread out in the room. But let's do something else real quick. Let's add in that snare drum hit. And so let's see if I plug that one into 3. Okay, so that one's a snare drum. I have it going through the envelope just as before, so I can control how snappy the lights are. So let's head over to input 3. We'll jump around. After the teal button, it goes to 3. That light blinked, so that's good. And what I want this one to do, let's set, why don't we have this one go green? So we'll do 2. And I actually want to save the blue one on this side for the hi-hats that are coming up. So let's go ahead and play what that looks like. Play it with the kick drum. You can see it'll kind of come up, maybe be a little bit yellow. Hope that's coming across in the video. So the last one, I'll have my hi-hats. We'll plug that into number 4. So let's go ahead and look at them all together. The LFO, we'll keep the LFO a little bit dimmer, and here we go. So there you go, that's how you use it. It's very easy to use, very simple to get the hang of. I should add the one thing, just detail about using it is input priority, is that it always defaults to the lower input channel. So that means if this one is controlling the blue channel and you set this one to control the blue channel as well, it will just default to this one. So you can't, it's not going to mix the two voltages to control a particular channel. You'd have to use an external mixer or something like that. But yeah, that's how you use it. It's very easy to use, very useful. I'm going to turn off the diffuse lighting, back the camera up a little bit so you can kind of see it in its full glory.